Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I hope you are well. I hope you had a great Monday and a great weekend. So let's just jump right into what we're going to be talking about today. Ooh, I can knock stuff all off the table. Wait a minute. Okay, so our subject and what we're talking about today is have that relentless spirit. Have a relentless spirit. Be persistent. Keep going. Be persistent. Don't stop. Just keep going. Just keep going. Sometimes while you're in the process of going, you got to mark time. In the process of going, you got to mark time. I know that's a little conflicting. So, because how can you keep going and you mark time at the same time? While you're marking time, you're not stopping. You're still moving, but you're marking time. You're standing still. You're doing something until it's time for you to move forward. You're not sitting down. You're not just, let me just watch this TV. Let me just watch this show. Let me just do something that's not constructive. You're doing something constructive, but you're just marking time while you're moving forward. Did you catch that? You're marking time while you're moving forward. Grab hold to that. Grab hold to that. You're marking time while you're moving forward. Because you're not giving up. You didn't give up. You didn't give up on your goals. You didn't give up on your dreams. You just, at this moment, you just have to mark time. You just have to mark time. Marking time could be journaling. Marking time could be getting things together for that product you want to do. Getting things together for that t-shirt business. Getting things together for whatever you want to do. But you got to mark time. You can't move. You can't move into that business. You can't move into that building until everything is perfect the way it should be for you to move into the building. Okay? While you're moving forward, mark time. Did you catch that? Did you catch it? But you're being persistent. You're being persistent. You didn't stop. You didn't stop. You didn't give up. You didn't give up. You kept going. And I'm proud of you for that. Keep going. You got this. You got this. You got this. I have notes over here. If you ever see me looking down, I have notes over here. You got it. You must keep going. You must push through. Continue to push through. I had to learn how to push through. I had to learn how to push through. I had to learn. It was tough. It was so tough that I threw in that towel. You know that white towel that they have up when they want to stop a fight or something, and throw it into the ring to stop the fight. Yeah, I threw my towel in the ring. I was like, I can't fight anymore. I just can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired. I threw it in. But I didn't throw it in and leave it there. There was something always deep down inside of me Something was deep down inside of me. That flame didn't go completely out. It was there. It was inside of me. And that was God inside of me. Showing me and telling me that I'm here. I got you. I got you. There was times when I just wanted to just give completely up. Unalive myself. Not only unalive myself, unalive my children, because I didn't want them to grow up without a mother. I grew up without a mother. My mother died when I was 7. I grew up without a mother. And not having your mother, even though my grandmother raised us, it's not the same. When you lose your mother, it's not the same. I don't care what someone says or does. My grandmother did the best she could with us. She was already elderly when she got us. She did the best she could with us. I'm the middle child, a younger brother and an older sister. She did the best she could with us. But no one in my could understand and know what I felt. What it felt like for me not to have my mom here. And I always would say, if my mom was here, I wouldn't be treated this way. If my mom was here, she would love me. She wouldn't call me names. She wouldn't say I was dumb. That word dumb just does something to me. Even though me just saying it right here, right now, it just makes me cringe. Because I was called dummy as a kid, as a child. Like I said, my brother's younger than me. And I was always told, oh, your brother, he gonna grow up and pass you. He's gonna be smarter than you in school. He's gonna do this and that and the other. I was a little hellion. It is what it is. I was terrible in school. Suspended, fighting all the time. I did enough to pass. And sometimes I couldn't understand things. I just couldn't understand it. And I guess that was my way of me fighting and getting suspended and everything was my way of coping with the fact that I didn't understand the school work. I just didn't understand it. Back in the day, in the 70s, I guess they didn't know what to do with someone that couldn't understand. So I was labeled dumb, just dumb. And it followed me. I was like, well, if I'm dumb, I'm just not gonna try. Why try? And y'all keep calling me dumb. I mean, I would try my best. And I know now that I was that word, dyslexic. Back then, no one knew what that was. I guess they didn't know what it was. I was a kid. I don't know if they knew what it was or not. I don't know. I'm a little kid. So, and as I got older, as I was getting older, I said, well, maybe I am dumb because I didn't understand. I would have to read something over and over and over again in order for it to sink in. In order for it to sink in. I love to read, but the words, I just didn't understand them. It seemed like they was all just going together. They was all just jumbled up, and I just didn't understand. I could read. I would read, but I would read and not comprehend what I was reading. So when I got a little older, I bought me a dictionary because I was like, I'll be darned if I'm going to go through life and not know what I'm talking about, not know what someone else is talking about, I'll be darned. So I would read the dictionary. And when I would read books, if there was a word in a book that I didn't understand, I didn't know what it was or even how to pronounce it, I would have a black and white notebook. A comprehensive, I would have a black and white notebook. And I would write the word down. Write the definition next to the word. I taught myself how to understand. Because I said, I'm not a dummy. I'm not that. And when someone around me says that, it just, I just be like, oh my goodness. Whoo, that's a trigger word for me. I will never call anybody dumb. I would never call anybody dumb because I know how it made me feel. So we're going to fast forward a little bit, some years. And I was always told that I'm going to be on welfare for the rest of my life. I'm never going to have anything. I'm never going to be anything or anyone. My children's father, my husband, at the time, was in a bad car accident and it broke his neck. It paralyzed him from his neck down. He was right-handed. He ended up being left-handed. His left hand was the only hand that he was able to use. The rest of his body was dead. He couldn't walk. I mean, his balance was off. It broke his neck, so they had to stretch him on a bed in a hospital. They had to stretch him so his bones and so everything could go. I can't. Let me see if I can explain. They had to stretch him to make sure everything was in place, and then put one of those halos on his head, and that thing was heavy. I became an instant married single parent. Instantly. When he broke his neck, I became an instantly married single mother. Because he couldn't take care of us any longer. I had to do it. My youngest at the time, I believe she was 3. I believe she was 3 years old when he got hurt. She'll be 30 this July. She'll be 30 years old this July. So, and I asked her, I said, do you ever remember? She never remembers seeing her father walking. She always knew when he was always in a wheelchair. So I had to stop working because I had to take care of my kids, our children, and take care of him when he came home with that heavy behind halo on his head. That was so hard. Taking care of a disabled relative, husband. I don't know if you ever take care of anybody, mother, father, anybody disabled. It is really hard on the caregivers. And I did it. Yeah, I threw in that towel, but I threw in the towel. Several times. But I didn't throw it in and not go back and get it. I always went back and get it. When I felt as though, okay, I got some more strength, I can go forward. I got some more strength, I could do this. I got some more strength, I can do that. But in the meantime, the kids are still growing. They still growing. They still need things. So when I stopped working, I had to go to welfare. I had to get food stamps. And boy, was that a lot of food stamps. I could use some food stamps right about now. But They gave us food stamps and some money. And my father said, you're always going to be on welfare. You're always going to be on welfare. You're never going to be anyone. You're never going to have anything. And that hit me like a Mack truck. I'm like, what the heck? I can't even get any kind of support, any kind of encouragement from my family. So I became a loner. Excuse me, I drink some water. Ooh, excuse me. Drinking my water in a wine glass. So sorry, what was I saying? I didn't get any encouragement. And that hurt again. And like I said, I was a loner. I just was like, you know what? It's just me and my children. At this point, it's just me and my children. And I did the best I could with my children. Yeah, we got stares especially when we got on the bus to go to church. You know, we lived in Chester and our church was in Philly. So every week we would get up early in the morning. I would get them dressed and we would go to church. And I kept my children dressed really nice. I had put on, one time I had these beautiful white dresses on. I had 4 girls, 3 boys. These beautiful white dresses on my children, on my girls. And I had a family member say, laughing at me, was like, you out here on the bus and you got the kids dressed all like they going to a wedding on the bus. I didn't think that was funny. You got a car and I'm doing the best that I can with my children on the bus going to church. I couldn't afford a car at that moment. I couldn't afford a car. I didn't have any money to take for a car. I had a disabled husband that I had to take care of. I couldn't work because I had to take care of him and my children. And you laughing at me. Those family members were the kind that like to see you or like to see someone down because it made them, for some reason, made them feel good about themselves. How can someone's downfall make you feel good about yourself? Like what? So yeah, it was a lot and I threw in the towel, but I never gave up completely. There was times when I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm out. I am gone. I'm going to jump off this bridge. I'm over it. I'm over it. And I didn't want to leave my children here. So God and my children kept me from jumping off that bridge, from ending it all, because it was so heavy. It was so heavy. I didn't know how I was going to get over it, get through it, and not have encouragement from my family. You sit around and when we come around, we the talk of the town. The subject always went back to me and my kids. Why? So I was like, okay, time to stay away, you know. Went in the shelter. Talked about me then. I couldn't do anything. And then would get upset when I didn't want to be bothered. When I didn't want to be bothered, when I just closed myself off to the world. It was just me and my children. And I just closed everybody else out. Why am I going to keep you around? Why am I going to keep you here if you consistently and constantly talk about me? But I did not break. I didn't break. I didn't break. I always had that relentless spirit in me, not knowing at the time that it was down inside. God put it there. Everything I've gone through, everything that you go through, it's just building you up for the next thing, to get you to the next thing. I always say, my past has made me the person that I am today. If you haven't gone through anything, you wouldn't know what it feels like to be on the other side of going through. You wouldn't know what it feels like to have that freedom, be like, I can breathe. And with the help of God, he helped me get all of my children to adulthood. And every last one of my children graduated from high school. I was a hellion. I didn't graduate, but I went back and got my GED. They graduated from high school. My son went to night school. Oh, you going to night school? You gonna get that diploma. I made sure that my children got that diploma and got the help that they needed in school. I was there. If it was the PTA meeting or something like that, whatever the meetings were, I was there. When it was time to get the report cards, we going to get your report card. Come on, let's go. And you're going to sit right here and listen to the teacher tell me what you doing or what you not doing. We're going to listen here and listen to the teacher tell me you made progress or you need a little bit more help. Oh, we going. I ain't leaving you home. We going together because I want you to hear what the teacher's going to tell me, whether it's good or bad. I was that parent. But it was just me and my children. I didn't want to be around the negativity any longer. So one year, this is how I really realized how either my dad didn't like me or he was just jealous of me. My ex-husband, my children's father at the time, we had broken up. We weren't together for many years, but we always remained friends. And he asked me one year, he said, "What do you want for your birthday?" I said, "You gonna buy me something for my birthday?" I said, "I want a truck." He was like, "In reason, what do you want for your birthday? I ain't buying you no truck." Okay. "What do you want for your birthday?" "I want an SUV." "Paula, I'm not buying you no SUV." I said, "Okay." So we never said nothing else about it. It is what it is. And we went on, and my birthday was approaching. And he asked me again. I said, "It's the same thing. I want an SUV. I want an SUV." "I don't care. I'm not buying that." Okay. So what I started to do, I started going around to car dealerships. And I was looking at the car. And in 2007 is when the GMC Acadias came out. And I walked on the lot, and that was that SUV was sitting there with my name on it. It had all of the bells and whistles. I was like, that's what I want. I looked at the car and everything. The person that ordered the car got it custom and everything. When the car came, they didn't like it. So they left it. That car had 7 miles on it. And I was like, that's my car. So I took him back. Now he was disabled. I had to put him in. I had to put him in the van, and we went over there, and I was like, that's the truck I want. He hemming off. But let me tell you, I had a van, and I had him in the van because he had to go and everything. I took my nephew with me. My nephew drove my truck off the lot. That day, a 2007 GMC Acadia, paid in full. I had no note. Only thing I had to do was pay insurance, keep up the maintenance, and put gas in the car. I had no note. All glory and honor to God. I believed. I kept saying, I'm going to get me, you going to buy me an SUV. He asked me what I wanted, and I told him what I wanted. You have not because you asked not. I asked, he asked me what I wanted. I told him what I wanted. And I went around looking. But this part right here is what made me say, I don't know if my dad didn't like me or was jealous. I was so excited because me and my children had been on the bus. We were on the bus and we had the van that had the wheelchair ramp in it, which 7 children, there's no seat in the middle. So we all, we squeezed in the van and everything. So I was so excited and so happy that I got the truck, the SUV, and I took it over to my where my dad was, and I was like, Dad, look at my car. I was like, I got it. I was so excited, so happy. And I thought, he was like, what I want to see that for? I want to see that truck. And turned his nose up and crossed his legs on that couch. I was like, wow. I said, okay. So his words came back to bite him in his behind. Because he said, because I always had a fascination for SUVs. I've always loved SUVs. I was like, well, I'm going to get me one of them. Oh, you ain't going to never get one of them. You can't. It was the Mountaineer. Somebody had a Mountain. I was like, oh, I like that. Don't worry about it. You ain't never going to get that. And it came back to bite him in his behind when I pulled up in a spanking brand new, paid in full SUV that he said I would never get. And I was always going to be on welfare. It came back to bite him in his behind. I was never broken. I was bending and weaving and bobbing, but I wasn't broken. I wasn't broken. Something inside of me would not let me throw in that towel and just keep it there. I will always go back for that towel. I kept going back for that towel. Till I didn't have to throw it in no more. I didn't throw it in again. I was like, oh my goodness. This is what, and as my children started getting older, I was able to start traveling. I was able to have a good job that I was able to, it wasn't a job that I wanted, but it was a good job. I was able to take care of my children a little better than this hair is hot, than what I was. And I know, and one thing you have to do, you can't let everyone know what you want to do. You can't let everyone know what you want to do. Because I wanted to go, I think they was opening up the prison in Chester. SCI Chester or CSI, whatever, prison in Chester. And they was taking applications. And I told someone, I was like, I'm gonna go fill that application out and I'm gonna, apply for this job and, hopefully I get the job. They was like, oh, you don't want that job. Don't you? When you come out that job, you gonna come out that job hard, like a dude. And I was like, no. If that's what you choose to do and be that, but that's not me. I was like, no, and I wasn't looking at it as a job for me. I was doing this so my children can have some of the things that I couldn't have or I didn't have. So I was like, okay, well, I never applied for it. Listening to people, you got to stop listening to people because everybody don't have your best interests. So I was like, okay, well, I said, okay, okay, well, I didn't do that. Then I'm going to apply to be an FBI agent. I'm going to go through the training and everything. You got children, so how you going to do that? How you going to do this? And you got children. And I was like, I really didn't have a support system. I didn't truly have a support system. People supported me. Some people that they would tell me things, and I guess they meant it for my good, but it really didn't help me because I took their words to heart, and I never became the FBI agent. I never went into the service. I wanted to go in the Air Force, and I would have been flying planes because that's what I wanted to do. But I got pregnant, and I didn't know everything about, I had to give my daughter, you're going to get to give your custody over to her father or to her grandmom, and they're not going to give her back. You ain't going to never be in your daughter's life, And I was like, I'll be darned. I'm going to be in my daughter's life. And I didn't go into the military. I didn't go and become an FBI agent because I listened to people. You cannot tell everyone what you want to do. You gotta hold it close to your chest. You gotta hold it close to your chest. There are times when I want to say, guess what? I'm doing it. And I'll be like, If you gotta tell somebody, tell it to the book. Write it down. Tell it to yourself in the third person. Tell it to yourself. Talk to God. But you cannot tell everybody your dreams, your goals. Because everyone is not happy for you. You are relentless. You have that relentless spirit in you. It may not seem like it at times. You may be beat down to the ground. But don't fall no further. If you gotta lay prostrate. I was about to say something else. Before the Lord, lay there. Cry out to the Lord. Don't allow your mind and your thinking to take you further than that. Because that's what the enemy wants. He wants you to go further. He wants you to be deeper into depression than what you may be in depression now. And someone said before, when they asked the question, can a saint of God get depressed? Do saints get depressed? And I believe, yes, saints get depressed. Pastors and bishops and elders get depressed for whatever reason. Their thing was, oh, no. If you're a child of God, you can't get depressed because depression is of the devil. Everything is not of the devil. We are human. We're not robots. We are human beings, not robots, not these mechanical things that they're making. We have feelings and we get depressed. We don't get so depressed, or we try not to get so depressed that we just want to unalive ourselves. We don't get that depressed. We shouldn't get that depressed. But remember, you have that relentless spirit in you. Be persistent. Be persistent. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep going. if you have to mark time. Mark time, but keep going. Mark time, but keep going. Stay in there. Oh, stay in there. Fight. Stay in there. Do whatever you got to do. Stay in there. Write in the journal, but you got to mark time. You got to mark time until it's time for you to move forward. Because some people just, yeah, you got the quantum leap. You got the quantum jump. But some people jump before they have everything that they may need at that particular time. Or people may jump at the wrong things. At the wrong things. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it like that. People may jump at the wrong things. But you got to mark time. Mark time, but don't stop. You will not be broken. I hope I said something in all of this rambling that I do. I say a lot. I say a lot. And it's not in context, like this story, then that story, then that story, then that story. I say it when it comes to my thoughts, to my mind. I say it so I don't forget. But I hope I said something that resonates with you. I hope I said something that motivates you, that encourages you. Okay? Subscribe to my channel. I would love to have followers so I can go live and do these videos, these live chats instead of doing videos. But until then, the video is what you get. Have an awesome, wonderful, safe night. Love you much. Peace. Goodbye.